Tommy has been very, very close to me, to Eric, to Bobby, and to Dusty for many, many years. And he will forever have a place in our hearts and our minds. And I wanted us to spend a few minutes so that we could just talk a little bit about Tommy and the impact that he's had, not just on his players, but on so many different parts of life. There you are, Dusty. You're looking good, Dusty.
Thank you, man. Hey, I was here the whole time. You couldn't hear me, but I could hear you guys.
Oh, good.
Hey, man, how did EK get a jersey and I don't have one yet?
We'll get you one tomorrow.
Okay.
Is Bobby coming? Do we know? So Dusty, maybe you could share with us, Dusty also is somebody who is now coaching in the managing in the big. They call Dusty Skipper.
Yeah.
and Dusty's relationship with his players is so deep. I think I saw you cry this year, Dusty, on the field. I'm not sure, but Dusty, if you could just give a couple of things that your experiences and your relationship and how Tommy had impacted you, that'd be great.
Well, I was on the Braves first, and Tommy was on the Dodgers. He was the third base coach, and so he came up, and I grew up a Dodger fan. Tommy Davis was my hero, and Tommy came up to me and he goes, "Hey, Dusty, you belong on the Dodgers." And I said, "You're right. I do belong on the Dodgers." I was tired of losing. The Dodgers are always winning. They were kicking our tails all the time. And then the next year, I got traded to the Dodgers. And that was probably one of the happiest days of my life. I fell on my face. I hurt my knee that winter playing basketball. I hit a home run, my first at bat against John Montefusco. And I said, "Hey, man, that knee's not going to bother me." I hit my next one July the 4th. I ended up hitting 244 with 4 home runs. And so, the town was on me. They were booing me. I hated even coming out of the dugout. And then next year, Tommy took over as a manager. And they traded for Reggie Smith. They traded for Rick Mundy. I came there as a center fielder. The only thing left was left field. And I was in competition with 3 or 4 other guys. We were full of outfielders, but Tommy came out and told the world that I was his left fielder. And, I had a hard time running. I had a hard time hitting, but, he stuck with me. And, everybody was like, "Tommy, are you crazy?" And that's the one thing that I learned from Tommy is that he wasn't afraid to stick his neck out for you, to even risk his job, for if he thought a guy could play. And he liked my character. Like I said, I was scared to death going into that year. I hit 30 home runs with 3 other guys, and we went to the playoffs. I was MVP of the playoffs, and made him look good, made the organization look good, make myself look good, and then I went on to be on the all Dodger team. But if Tommy hadn't done that, and told the world that I was his left fielder, my career might have took a totally different turn. And so that's one thing that I've always tried to practice, that I learned from Tommy, to believe in a guy. And his favorite words are, "You got to believe." And, there were times when I didn't believe. And I think Tommy, convinced us all to believe. And if you believe, then anything can happen.
And Dusty, you remember that finger, right?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that finger. One day I was out kind of late in Cincinnati, and I came in and I saw Tommy and Billy DeLory down the street, and I was like, "Man, that looks like Tommy." And so he ducked in a building, and all of a sudden, I didn't see him anymore. So I said, "Whoa, I better get to the hotel." So I got in the hotel. I said, "Oh man, I escaped Tommy." And next thing I know, I saw that finger stick in between right when the elevator is about to close. And he's like, "Dusty, where you going?" I said, "Hey, Tommy." And see, he could always bust me, but he was never really looking for me. There's another story. I was in Atlanta. I came in about 2:00 in the morning. I was hungry, and I wanted some grits. some sausage, some eggs, and some hash browns. And so I called down the room service. I said, "Hey, this is Dusty Baker, room service." He goes, "Hi, Mr. Baker." This guy answers the phone. So I said, "Hey, I'd like grits, so and so and so and so." He goes, "Oh no, Mr. Baker, I can't give you no grits." He says, "I want you to go to bed." I said, "Look, man, give me my grits." And we got in an argument. And then at the end of the argument, he goes, "This is Tom Lasorda. Go to bed." I said, "Tommy, what you doing down in the kitchen?" And he told me he was getting some yogurt. So I couldn't believe it. I think he was just trying to see, who was out late. And I got 1,000 Tommy stories, but those are two of the ones that really stick out in the forefront.
Thank you, Dusty. You're awesome.
Yeah.
And thank you for everything that you do for all the kids around the world and all the people. And thank you for everything that you do for Steel Sports.
Well, hey, thank you, Warren. Thank you for all the things for inviting us to be in Steel Sports. And, your heart is as big as Tommy's. And I know you got a super heart, especially for the young kids. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Caro.
Well, Mr. Baker, hello. By the way, I just so everybody knows, I played for Dusty, and I will say I also played for Tommy as well. But you want to talk about somebody that cares for their players, makes you feel special, makes you feel a part of something. There's no better manager right now in the big leagues than this man right next to me here on the screen. So, and Dusty knows that. So,
but you never called me Mr. Baker. That's a first.
No, I know. That's an age thing now, right? it's
okay,
respect.
Man. Okay.
So so for me with Tommy, I don't even know where to begin. I will say this: Tommy's ability to impact people's lives, second to none. And he used baseball as a vehicle. And it's not just baseball. That's how we know him. But outside of the world of baseball, he's had more influence on people than anybody I'm aware of. And it's not just a certain group, a certain demographic. It's across the board. We were in Cuba. We're walking down the street, and there's a gentleman that's on a beat up old bike riding down, and he recognized Tommy Lasorda, and we're in Cuba. Tommy at the World Series just a couple weeks ago, we're in Texas, and there are people that are trying to get his attention and saying, "Hey, when I was a kid, I lost my father, and you wrote me a letter, and my family." And you're just sitting here and you're taking this all in. And as I said, the impact that he's made and how he's touched people and how he connects, I think it's relative to what we're trying to do at Steel Sports. Connect with the kids, connect with the youth. It's not just about that relationship. Did I just lose all that? Did you guys hear me?
Yeah, part of it. I heard most of it.
All right. Yeah. So it's about that relationship, and that's why Tommy is an example, and we can take what he has taught us, what he exemplifies, what he exemplified, and we can pass that on through our coaching system. For me specifically, I'll go back. I remember my first year I was with the Dodgers. And I was getting my first start in San Diego against the Padres. It's where I grew up. I had friends. I had family. And, I'm nervous as heck. I'm excited. Tommy's got me in the lineup. And I'm on deck. It's the second inning. I'm on deck, San Diego. I'm nervous as heck. And he's like, "EK, Eric, come here. I need to talk to you." I'm thinking to myself, what? I'm on deck. I'm not. So I kind of walk back to the dugout, and he says, "Look at that guy out there. It's Craig Lefferts. He's a left-hander. Yeah, I pitched to you all spring training, and I got better blank than he does. So he's going to throw you an inside fastball. Be ready for it. Turn on it, and hit it in the seats." And I'm thinking to myself, look, man, this is my first at-bat. You're giving me all this, BS right now, cluttering my mind. I go up to the plate, and I'll be darned. First pitch, inside fastball, I turn on it, hit it into the seats. And I'm on cloud nine. I'm running down to first base thinking, holy cow, man, I just hit a home run. I'm in front of friends and family. I get around first, and then I'm thinking to myself, holy blank. This guy, he just called what was going to happen. He believed that I was going to get that fastball and that I would turn on it. And I think for me, because a lot of the stuff you heard from Tommy, a lot of, there's no way that this can all be real. The stories can't be real. All these, and that for me, I said, holy geez, man, I believe. And what that man did for me, whether it was my career, after my career, the loyalty, the friendship, there's not a better man that we can exemplify as far as what we're trying to teach at Steel Sports, what we're trying to emulate. And he's somebody that, again, has impacted my life as much as anybody, and I'm forever grateful.
Thanks, Eric. And again, we reiterate that you got to believe. And Tommy believed, and he made you believe in yourself. Same thing that we need to do to the kids. And Bobby, thank you for joining and staying late. You are a road warrior. I left him last night at 9 o'clock. He's getting on a plane, flying back to the East Coast. You're great. Thank you.
No, you're great, Warren. And Dusty and Eric, great being with you. Man. Dusty, you look great, dude. You look great.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Let me just say congratulations to all the winners. And I'm just so proud to be with Warren, who is my idol, and Eric and Dusty and all the award winners, because Steel Sports has come a long way, as Warren said, and it's gotten where we are because of the great people who are on this Zoomcast, but also because of Tommy Lasorda. And I know this has gone long. I'm going to be just real quick because, coaches understand, as Eric said, that, you have to instill that belief in your kids, and you have to have commitment in what you're doing. And when you do that, my quick story is I'm 19 years old. I played for Tommy in rookie ball for 2 months. I was his center fielder. I've had a good little season. I was the all-star and all that stuff. But I went back to the university. When the university got out, I was supposed to go to A-ball to learn to play shortstop. I was transitioning from center field to short. Tommy was going from rookie ball to AAA. And now he's in AAA. We're a month into the season. I get out of school. I finish my finals. And I'm driving up to Bakersfield. But before I do, I stop to see a Dodger game. As I'm watching the Dodger game and it's over, I walk into Al Campanis' office. He's on the phone with Tommy Lasorda, his AAA manager. And they're talking about replacing a guy who got hurt in the game. And Tommy says he wants to replace him with me to go to AAA and play shortstop. That's right. As a 19-year-old, the next youngest guy was 27. Well, I got in my car and I went to Spokane, Washington. I played for Tommy Lasorda. And after a month and a half, I was stinking up the league. I was making an error every day. I was hitting about 215. I was swinging at balls in the dirt. People were booing me when I came out of the dugout. And lo and behold, the pitchers decided they didn't want to pitch when I was at shortstop. And Tommy got wind of it, and he called a clubhouse meeting. And now I'm 19 years old. And I know what the pitchers are saying and what they're thinking. And now Tommy's going to have a meeting and say, okay, I guess you guys are right. I made a mistake by bringing this kid up. I'm going to send him back to A-ball, and we'll live all happily ever after. And instead, he marched up and down that clubhouse. He pointed his finger at a few of those pitchers, and he said, you don't want to play when that kid's at shortstop. Well, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to go into my office. And you guys, and I'm sitting there with my head down in front of my locker looking at my shoes, wondering what you guys is going to be. And he says, and you guys, everyone else in the room, go in front of that kid, stand at his locker, and get his autograph. Because when he's carrying a lunch bucket, when you're carrying a lunch bucket, he's going to be playing in the major leagues. And I went, oh my God. And sure enough, they came in front of my locker. I gave him an autograph. And from that day on, I made 11 errors the rest of the season for 3 months. I hit about 270. The next year, I came back as a 20-year-old. I led the league in 7 different offensive categories and was the MVP of the league. His conviction and his decision and his belief in me, where his head was totally on the line. First year AAA manager, taking a guy from rookie ball, which is unheard of in those days, and he believed in me, and he made me the player that I became. And you have to somehow, as a coach, instill that same belief in your players that Tommy instilled in me and Eric and Dusty and everyone who ever played for him. And remember, the other thing that Tommy would always say is that he wasn't going to get a fruit basket from any of us players come Christmas time or his birthday. But he was still going to give us everything that he had to make us better. So you as a coach have to know it's all about giving. You're not going to be getting. Warren's going to give you an accolade once in a while. The parents are going to give you a thumbs up. But please continue to give, and you'll get some of those rewards back in the mail with a little thank you note like I sent Tommy every year of his life.
Thank you, Bobby. Guys, I appreciate this. In remembrance of Tommy, we will make sure his legacy lives on through Steel Sports and many other avenues. And he's touched us all dearly, and he will continue to do so forever.